It's time for Work Comp Talk. Coming to you from the Pacific Workers Studio in Concord, California. It's Work Comp Talk. Interesting people talking about the issues that affect the lives of the everyday people that keep our communities moving. Sponsored by Pacific Workers Compensation Law Center.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Work Comp Talk. This is your host, Carmen Ramirez, joining me today, and I am very excited to have been able to actually pull him out of work hours and get him to connect with us, is a good friend of mine, Alex Neang, who I've known about 2 years, I want to say. You and I have connected since early 2019 when I recently had joined Pacific Workers, which, by the way, the podcast is sponsored by Pacific Workers, the lawyers for injured workers. And if you ever get injured at your job and you need legal support and you want someone to listen to you and to be on your team and your side, more importantly, you can definitely hit us up at pacificworkers.com. So without further ado, thank you, Alex, for joining me in today's podcast. I'm super excited to let people know who Alex is. I'm excited to share with the community more than anything some of the other businesses around us here. We have an office in Oakland. You guys, not that long ago, prior to COVID, had recently moved closer to our offices as well. And so much has happened, you know. COVID has paused the world in some sort of way, but we definitely wanted to shed light on those that are at home listening to this podcast and let them know, you know, what OPC MIA is all about. I feel like a lot of people don't even know what OPC MIA stands for. So Alex, first and foremost, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, Carmen. Thanks for having me here. OPCMIA stands for Operative Plasterers and Cement Masons Local 300. In short, we just refer to ourselves as plasterers and cement masons. And we're out of Local 300. We cover a majority of the areas in Northern California. And we represent the workers that are doing plastering work and cement work.
Awesome. So for those of you guys that are at home, those of you guys that, you know, unfortunately, probably lost a job. You know, there's so much happening right now because of COVID. And I feel like everyone's life was turned upside down. There's opportunities if you see it in the positive way. And Alex and I were speaking about this off the prior to connecting to the podcast. We were talking about how you can see it in a positive way, all the changes, and how you can kind of just feed into the changes and take it about the wrong way and just spiral down. I feel like COVID was allowing a lot of people to let go of that job that necessarily wasn't the best job they could have offered themselves. You know, it's given a person an opportunity to kind of reevaluate what they're doing with their life. And a lot of people, like I mentioned, did lose their job, and it kind of just gave them a push to, okay, what do I do next? What do I do now? And I thought, what better than to invite my friend Alex to join us in the podcast and talk about, one, the union, the Local 300 union, and to kind of just connect with the community in a different level. You know, Alex, you joined the union, gosh, and you're actually the first union person that I get to interview in the podcast. So that's pretty cool. A lot of people think that unions are just not good. They're not, they're just there to take your money. Have you ever heard that concept, Alex? I'm pretty sure you
have. Prior to joining the union, I did have various impressions of the union. I didn't know what a union was. I started after high school working non-union. And like I said, we weren't told in high school what the unions were, and the fact that unions are made up of union members. A lot of the business agents and business managers are elected by the members to represent them as far as negotiating, making sure workers are properly trained and skilled out there on the workforce. And we worked really close with the contractors. It's a partnership. You know, they supply the work, we supply the workers.
Right.
So it's a partnership.
Besides the workers, I mean, you guys not just provide the workers, you provide the tools for the workers to be able to excel in whatever it is they're trying to achieve and career changes. You know, we've had the opportunity to connect with you guys in your annual picnic back in 2019 was the last one that we were able to join you guys in. And just the amount of families, the amount of impact that the Local 300 has in the community, to me was like, wow. Like everyone that would walk by our booth would talk so good about the union. They were almost proud to be part of the union, you know? It's almost like when you go to school, you go to a private school, you know how they have you wear the uniform and you're always like, oh, I'm not trying to wear the uniform. What I sense from that picnic, from those that did join the union, everyone was proud to be a part of it. I mean, you were running like crazy up and down that day, barbecuing and organizing and connecting. And it was just insane to see how much positivity is brought into these unions. And I think that a lot of people, like you said, no one ever tells you about a union. You hear about it and you probably like don't think much of it. And I'm glad that you kind of shed light onto what a union is. I didn't know that people in the top ends of the union were elected by the union members. I thought it was something that it was just automatically given to them. But that's kind of cool, you know, it shows that it's some sort of community that you guys have, that you believe in someone and you guys all agree to have this person be the voice for you. And that must be amazing.
Absolutely. And we try to give back to our members, you know, because we are members ourselves. And with the picnic, you know, we like barbecuing and we turn into a family event. So why not? We cook, you know, we have agents and reps that'll cook for the members.
Nice.
Not only that, all the members that come, we give them a shirt and a hat and a goodie bag with all the logos and trinkets and stuff like that. We want to make it a family event. So we had the carnival come in, you know, got the Ferris wheel, the roller coaster.
Oh, you guys had that bull too, the one that fell off. That bull was something else. That's amazing. What you guys do is amazing. And again, you know, it's for the community to know. A lot of people don't even know what Local 300 is about. Just like we mentioned earlier, a lot of people don't even understand what OPC-MIA stands for. Well, now you know, the Plasterers and Cement Masons Union. That I want to say you guys bring in a lot of people from different diversity. I mean, you started out with the company, what, 6 years ago? You've been in the industry of, I guess you can say, construction for, what is it? Quite a while, over 10 years. What made you go into, or what interested you about, you know, the construction work?
For me, right out of high school, I was doing a lot of manufacturing work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I started going to a community college, wanted to go become a mechanic, didn't work out, had to go work. And I started working from warehouse, wineries, and all of a sudden, a friend of mine did prefab work for a small construction company. He got me on, and I started doing prefab, and then doing concrete work. Then I was approached by a rep saying, "Hey, this is what we offer," and they showed me not only the money that we're making, the benefits, the retirement. And that's what got me, because the company I was working for, they didn't offer medical and they didn't offer retirement. So when I was told, hey, put 25 years of service, 55 years of age, and then you'll have a full retirement. And right now, you know, I've also done a lot of career fair, and there's been a strong shift with the schools and even the colleges encouraging the trades.
Right.
Because college is not for everyone. You know, for the individuals that are hands-on, they want to go out there and make money. And we have a 3-year apprenticeship program, and a lot of the trades is learn while you earn. So you don't get paid when you're attending the school. For our school, it's 2 Saturdays a month, 18 classes a year. It's a 3-year program, and you'll get state certified. But when you're on the job working with the company and getting trained, and you get a combination of work hours and class hours, and then you'll graduate with your certificate. But this allows a worker the ability to not only go to school, but also get paid and compensated while they're out there getting trained and helping out on the job site.
That's like the best of both worlds. I definitely I couldn't agree more with you. I feel like, yes, college exists. And there's a lot of people that, were more interested in building stuff. We're more interested in hands-on stuff, making stuff. And they had that different itch than some of the book smarts we have. And having that opportunity, you said the company or the union, in this case, your guys' union, gives you the education, and along the way you're going to earn some money. So it's not like you're going to give in 3 years to education and then not get anything out of it. That's a great thing to have. You're getting the best of both worlds: education, getting everything you need to know, and you're getting paid at the same time. That's amazing. That's a great opportunity. I know that you guys also have even the opportunity to just have scholarships. There's a lot of people that think, oh, how am I going to be able to afford this? Obviously now with COVID in hand, a lot of people's lives changed. A lot of people went under, they're backwards with their finances. Is this a possibility that someone can see in the future, say if they wanted to change a trade or a lifestyle or a job? Is this an opportunity that anyone could jump on?
Right now we have 2 scholarships, one at our district council level and one at our international level. Mm-hmm. And the criteria is different with both. I believe the one at the district council level, it's offered to a lot of the members' kids, their family members, an opportunity to, get the scholarship and, pursue education. Even with our apprentices, it just doesn't stop there as far as just working on the job on the site, construction site. We had one apprentice that showed strong potential and was offered a job by a construction company as an estimator after they completed the program. Mm-hmm. So that it opens up a lot of doors.
Right.
And our apprenticeship school director, Veronica Gordinez, she was a safety coordinator for one of the bigger companies, and when the position opened as a director, she applied for it and got the position. So right now I'm working with the apprenticeship school. Mm-hmm. There's quite a bit of career fair, and at different hours. Sometimes it's in the evening time.
Right.
And like I said, it's a good opportunity. Not only for the workers wanting a career in construction, but we also put the scholarship out there because it's a whole network to make construction possible. We need the engineers, we need the inspectors, we need the people that do accounting. So that's why we, support higher education and offer the scholarships.
That's amazing. A lot of the injured workers we work with, as you know, here at Pacific Workers, they get an opportunity sometimes when they're not able to go back to their jobs for XYZ. They get an opportunity to kind of retrain themselves, rebuild new skills, and take a second chance at the workforce. That's a great opportunity for someone that came on board as maybe just the beginning levels of construction, and someone that wants to dive deeper into it, getting the education behind it. It makes it that much easier for someone to want to make a jump on their career, and specifically with programs that you guys have as such. Now, I know, Alex, you are kind of like the go-to person when it comes to safety stuff also within the union. As a compliance officer, you make sure that a lot of the stuff that goes on as far as the laws protect the workers. Can you explain that a little bit more to me? I feel like people don't really understand, above the benefits you get with the union, how much they actually also help out when it comes to labor laws.
So everyone is aware of minimum wage. You say minimum wage, people know what it is. Only some people don't know what prevailing wage is. Mm-hmm. So the prevailing wage is the wage that prevails, is set wage for each trade that is being done, whether it's concrete, electrical, carpentry, plumbing. So a contractor has to pay it at least that minimum prevailing wage. They can pay over, but they can't pay less.
Right.
So our journeymen currently right now is making 39 and some change. I don't have the right off the top of my head, but so that is the wage. But then there's also other benefits that goes into it. The amount that gets paid into the medical covers the individual and the whole family. Mm-hmm. And also with we have a pension plan. So a typical 401k, you have to decide how much you want to take out of your paycheck and put into that 401k plan, and whether or not the company offers any kind of matching.
Right.
With our trade, we put a set amount. Right now it's a little over $11 per hour that goes into the pension, which adds up to the worker being able to retire at 55 years of age with 25 years of service.
I could just imagine that's a pretty hefty retirement amount if the company's helping out that much. You know, it's kind of like setting aside your piggy bank, which is a smart option. And the reason I bring this up about, you know, the labor laws and stuff like that, and you mentioned it very clearly, Alex, was a lot of people get hired and are not part of the union. You know, there's other companies that don't necessarily require people working for them to be part of a union, but they miss so much. They miss out on so much that, you know, in the long run, being part of a union benefits not only you, but like you mentioned, it also benefits the family members. Is there any particular reason why you don't take on someone who wants to join the union?
There isn't. No, we just require that the individual to start is at least 18 years of age. And the labor law part of it, because I didn't touch base on that just a moment ago, is the fact that I go out there and make sure that the workers are paid the proper wages, and that 20% of the hours, because there's a state mandate that on prevailing wage job, 20% of the hours has to go to an apprentice. So even the state's saying, hey, we need the next generation of workers out there working. And with our retirement age as early as 55, and it's because our work, it's hard work. So we want to make sure we retire at a good age and be able to enjoy our retirement. Right. And so the state, then this is for all the prevailing wage job, they mandate that 20% of the hours are going towards an apprentice, encouraging the next generation of workers to build a future.
Right. That's one of your guys' motto on your website. No, it says apprentices are building America. And that's exactly what it is. You know, the new generations are coming in, and like you guys being the lucky person that you guys are, you get to retire at the age of 55. Obviously, I did notice with COVID and on our end, a lot of people started retiring sooner because, you know, they probably were thinking, oh, I'll give it one more year or two, but then COVID hits and you're kind of like drained. You're kind of just, you know what, I'm just going to retire as it is. There's a ton of people retiring. So that means there's a ton of opportunity for all these apprentices to come in and get an opportunity to benefit themselves in life as well, and lock some security for them for sense of retirement plans and stuff like that. How long have you been with the company, Alex?
16 years. No, 16 years total, but I mean 6 years. 6 years in my current position.
Yeah, you're the boss now, Alex. More than the boss, Alex is the person that actually seeks out and looks and works with those wanting to join, right? What are some of the reasons you think a lot of people try to just don't want to join?
Each of the trades, they have different joining requirements. A lot of the trade, they have testing, they have interviews you have to go through. Not only on the testing part, there's written tests, but there's also physical tests. And then they take top people from those groups and they go to an interview and they decide how many of the individual, they'll take 25, 30 people's in a general class to bring in. So there's quite a bit of people that want to come and join. With our hiring process. We put the workers in the driver's seat, meaning we don't do the testing. If the worker comes in with no experience, has to be 18 years of age. The worker does the application, makes an appointment, does the application, and we are based on a sponsoring process, meaning after the application, the worker leaves with a letter, sponsor letter. And just like anybody looking to apply a job, the worker with a sponsor letter just needs to convince one of our union companies to hire them.
Wow. That's awesome.
So it depends how well they sell themselves to the company. And a lot of the bonuses towards getting hired is companies are looking for individuals with reliable transportation.
Right.
That'll be punctual, showing up on time, or even earlier, because, with traffic and the amount of congestions we have, it's very important, especially with the concrete crew. It might be a crew of 3 or 4, and if they got a concrete truck delivering the mud, they can't wait. They need all hands on deck.
Right.
When they start. So soon as the individual convince the company to sponsor them, then we do additional paperwork. Then they get a schedule for the school. And then, like I said, they have the schools on the weekend. A lot of the trades, they have schools during the week. They have to stop for a week or two to go to school. Or some of the trades have school at night. So after you get off work, then you have to go clean up and get ready for class.
That's amazing. I mean, there's options out there, and there's work. How is work right now due to COVID? Did you guys see like a decline? Was it at a point where, everything just stopped? Walk me through what happened with COVID and plasterers and cement mason.
Well, prior to COVID, because we're affected by the rain, the weather.
Right.
So a lot of the jobs were backed up prior to COVID because of all the rain. And when, we start noticing COVID, February, March, and then when everything closed down, a lot of the job sites closed down also.
Mm-hmm.
And but as soon as they evaluated and figure out, what they were going to do, and that a lot of the construction jobs were essential, you got to get it going before, fall and winter hits and the rainy weather again. So we're still going really busy. The only thing that's changed is I do a lot of the orientation out of our main headquarters in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
I was also told to stay at home, for social distancing. We still do applications, but unlike before where I had a room full of people all doing applications at the same time, now it has to be done by appointment. And we have to keep, 1 or 2 people, 6 feet apart, and people coming in having to wear the mask and, taking precaution.
The new norm for COVID, right? Which is totally fine. I don't oppose to it. I think everyone should be safe, and these are just the new protocols that we kind of have to adapt. Would you say, Alex, that a lot of the people that were either working with a contractor or working with another one of your guys' partners got affected a lot by COVID? Meaning, okay, you guys had to stop at a certain point before they considered essential worker, which to me, if you think about it, less traffic on the roads was the perfect time for you guys to jump back on and keep building America. Would you say that a lot of people, specifically workers, got affected by it, or?
It's hard to tell. Even right now, the bigger jobs are taking a lot of precaution.
Mm-hmm.
Or as before it was just the drug testing. Either before going on the job site. Now it's the temperature testing and the swab testing. So a lot of the jobs they've been able to adapt to it,
mm-hmm.
and or prepared for it. The smaller jobs, where they don't have the large facility and the job trailers and stuff, because we do work that can consist of maybe a street corner. It's not a whole laydown yard and the whole construction. So, and it's hard, because the bigger jobs, you're also working alongside a lot of the trades and crafts. So now things have changed as far as people working further away from each other. And it also affects mealtime as far as, the workers not eating close to each other. And how you say it's hard to tell, even though the precautions are being taken, we don't know if it's outside of work. And there's precaution taken on the construction site, making sure the workers aren't infecting each other.
Right. I felt like at one point I said to myself, if there's anyone that did not get affected dramatically by the change, as human beings in nature, we don't like change. And I think for those of us that worked in an office, for the students that we're not used to wearing gloves, we're not used to wearing masks, we're not used to having anything in our face besides our glasses. It was much harder than those that worked in trades like, construction, because you guys have to wear gloves. You guys have to wear hard hats. You guys technically have to wear goggles. So in an essence, again, I feel like if you look at the positive side of it, one, you guys didn't have to deal with the massive traffic. And we know the Bay Area and how traffic can get really crazy. Two, you're already wearing the gear, technically. It was just a matter of distancing a bit more. And I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you mentioned about, because we do emphasize safety on the job, and the PPE, our protective gears. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So not only are we saying that we're supplying the contractors with skilled workers, long before COVID, it was also safe workers. Safety was a major part. On the bigger job site, we have a safety person going on, constantly checking on the workers. Are you having your safety gears on, your hard hat, your goggles, your boots, your vest? And now, in addition to that, it's just the whole working, keeping distance from each other. So I can totally see what you're saying, because for construction, safety is a must. We want the workers to leave the same way they showed up. And we were already having those kind of protocols as far as the injury factor. And now there's just the whole COVID factor. And before, a lot of times, even before starting a job, they have a safety talk every day.
Wow.
And,
you guys kind of get them used to wearing the gear and just being safe out there, and which is a smart thing to do if you think about it.
They have a safety meeting before the job starts. And some of the jobs, because of the type of work we do, they make you stretch or do a little bit of a, stretching exercise before you can start working.
Hey, I mean, they pick up heavy equipment. They pick up tons of stuff. You never know, man. Even nowadays with the sneeze, you can injure yourself. So that's a pretty smart thing to do. I mean, another positive reason why people who have, just an opportunity to kind of switch gears and switch something and do something in life that's going to benefit, I think definitely Local 300 can be a way for them to seek into getting more information. And with that said, Alex, if someone's at home right now, lost their job, currently is able to work, has two hands, the willingness to want to change and do something for themselves, and more than anything, secure something for their family, where can they seek more information with Local 300?
Right now, they can, all the information is on our website. If they go to our Facebook page, it just has the main number. But if you go to our website under staff, there's a list of all our agents. They can contact our agents via email or trying to call them on their cell phone and make an appointment and set time to do the paperwork and applications.
That's awesome. And you guys can find them on social media. They're under OPCMIA Local 300. Or you can visit them online as well at opcmialocal300.org. We're going to link those as well onto these podcast descriptions, so make sure you look out for that. Alex, is there anything else that we didn't cover that the community should know in regards to unions, in regards to you guys specifically?
In general, just if the individual is interested in construction, they have to have a couple things. They have to have the motivation. And like I mentioned before, reliable transportation, because some of our job is not at the same place.
Right.
What COVID also taught us during this pandemic is the need to save and have the patience. And that's what you need being construction, because construction, it pays well. As I mentioned earlier, there is the prevailing wage. But then you also have times where you're off work for a week or two or a month until the next job starts. A lot of people that I started off with gave up. They're like, oh, I'm just going to go quit and work at a warehouse somewhere and get a paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
It pays well, but you also have the patience to go through the program. The type of people we need is pretty much kind of the people that are really motivated and trying to go through college and go through school, because they're willing to sacrifice, willing to eat that cup of noodle and, just continue on and looking long-term for that goal, for that career, and for that degree, in our terms, for that certificate. Once you're certified with us, some of the trades you have to do your certification periodically. Our certification and its state certification is good for life.
Ooh.
And not only the goal is to complete the program and have the patients complete the program and save the money so you can complete the program. Because I've had other jobs. Our trade is fortunate where I had a part-time job in the evening. So whether there was work or not in construction, I had a part-time job to offset, my income.
Mm-hmm.
But my ultimate goal was to complete the program. And I guess it explains where I am today, where I am, in my position, is just like you mentioned earlier, having that positive mindset and always looking at things in a positive way. And with me doing that, they're like, hey, can you come to our job fair? Can you come to our career fair? And, and I say, at first we didn't have anybody doing that. But then after a while, I took on the role because I never, like you said, what is a union?
Right.
What is a community? So I want to reach out to all the people, and a lot of the schools and colleges, like I said, they still encourage going to college, but they realize college is not for everybody. And they realize a lot of the people graduating high school, they just wander around the community.
Yeah.
And with life being as it is, the motivation, a lot of it, the life skill we didn't learn in school, how to manage money, how to save money,
We were
and,
just talking about that. Yes. They should
yep.
get one of those classes in school.
Yep. And right now I'm in my 40s, and a lot of people that I know, the same age as me, haven't gotten a house, haven't figured out what they want to do with their life. And a lot of times people close to retirement in 60 or 70 still haven't figured out what they're going to do.
Yikes.
And, reaching out to people, letting them know early, because if the worker comes in at, say, 18, our minimum retirement age is 55, but that means they just put that much more in the retirement. Instead of having 25 years of service, they'll have 30 plus years, which means a bigger retirement check.
Right. And a lot of people, I say, probably choose not to get out at 55. A lot of people like what they do, and they're just throwing in another 5 years and play by what they feel, and that's amazing. Having these opportunities with the union, and like you mentioned, is something that not a lot of people know. Now I'm going to ask you the question that probably many women ask. Can women join?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned to you earlier, our director is a woman. She's in charge of our training facility. So not only is she currently a director now, but she was the safety coordinator for a very big Bay Area contractor. And a lot of our instructor are women in the trades. With our local, we had the first woman union president, first woman recording secretary. So there's a lot of firsts, but the women that come into the trades, what we want is them to exceed the guys. So it gives the guy run for their money. Because that's what the expectation is. If you're willing to do the work, men or women, doesn't matter. We have plenty in our trade that does the work.
It allows you guys to just grow and expand to reach out to everyone. That's amazing. I think they couldn't have chosen a better person to come out and organize and talk about the opportunities that this union has. I mean, Alex, you living through it, you going through it, you surviving it, and learning so much for it, and being able to speak about it. I mean, gosh, they found the perfect fit for what they have with you. So I'm excited to have you on the podcast. Thank you for sharing a little bit more about OPC MIA Local 300 here in the Bay Area. Again, if you're listening to this podcast and this is something that might interest you, hey, it's just as quick as a matter of fact to just hop on Facebook, hop on their website and figure it out. Check out if that's something that'll fit into your lifestyle, into something that you want to do. And while you're at it, if you have some other friends that might also be encouraged with this type of information, make sure you share this podcast, subscribe to it. We got a couple other community companies joining us along this podcast, along this season as well. We want to just kind of shed the light, because a lot has happened because of COVID, but it doesn't mean that life ends because of COVID. And there's always OPC MIA. So thank you, Alex, for talking with us. And once again, reach out to them online, and who knows, this might just be your next good step.